Carthago Delenda est. Latin for Carthage must be destroyed. I think that just about says it all. Hello, Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Old World in our Early Access series. Rather than beginning this episode with an overview of any of the interface, I just thought we would declare war on Carthage and be like, hey, you've got a warrior on the city site that I was about to claim. I just want to let you know that we're going to be top dog in this region, and you're not. Plus, we're Rome, and they're Carthage. So this is happening. Let me do a quick check of the diplomatic situation. Dido is upset with us. We have a truce with her, but we can declare war a couple of different ways. We could select our warrior, which already has a general and has the ability to attack across rivers, and we could just say, declare war on Carthage. Or we could select Dido from the diplomacy options over here, which I just pulled up, and we could declare war on Queen Dido the Enlightened is her name now, of Carthage. So I imagine it would have the same result. Let's go ahead and just use the menu outright. So this is going to reduce her memory of us by, or rather her opinion of us in her memory, by 80 for 40 years. Now we're going to proceed with war preparations and attack this warrior. What could go wrong? Okay, so that was the only time, of course, we could attack this turn. Let's see what else we might be able to get away with. Not much. I think that's pretty much it for the turn. We have 6 orders left. And this scout, I believe, has already healed this turn. Yes, they have. So we will go ahead and end the turn. Interesting, they withdrew. Now that Duchess Lucilla Fabian has completed her study... Oh, she's grown up! That might be the oldest 18-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Has completed her study of philosophy. How shall we contribute to the court? What role best suits Lucilla? Duchess Lucilla Fabian, no longer a philosophy student, so we can make her a zealot, a persuasive, passionate believer. So that would reduce wisdom, or we can make her a judge, which seems like a win-win. Yeah, let's make her a judge, a wise advocate for the people. So we got some additional science and gold there. And then, of course, we have another choice. Time passes quickly. You still remember the birth of Duke Statius Fabius, but he's growing up fast. Do I remember the birth of Statius Fabius? Actually, Statius, I'm sorry, I don't. Apparently, we had a second son, and I missed it. If it happened and I mentioned it, then I might have simply forgotten. Our nephew, Spurius, is 7. And looks like he has a little sister, Sulpicia. So these are the children of the Duke Remus. Thankfully, again, I mentioned in episode 1, Duke Remus is a scheming bastard, but he didn't get the schemer trait this time, and so he hasn't been murdering my children like he did in my practice game, which was a really interesting way to start off Roman history, with brothers literally going at each other's sire lines. But at least that's allowing us to see how the child-rearing systems work and how the heir education systems work. So he's growing up fast and eager to learn, even though we didn't know he existed. Would you like to educate Duke Statius Fabius? So he can study tactics, rhetoric, commerce, or philosophy. Let's say rhetoric. We haven't done much in the way of training something that will help with our civics production. So let's balance that out, shall we? And this guy appears to be hanging out in the woods. All right, so Hostus Fabius Romanus has gained experience, so we can give him additional wisdom. We can make him bloodthirsty. So basically, if he hits a damaged unit, he does more damage to them. Or we can make him brave, which just generally makes him stronger. So wisdom provides additional critical chance. I like the additional damage against damaged units. It doesn't exponentially increase. It's just once a unit is damaged, he does more damage to them by a fixed amount. Promote General Hostus Fabius immediately, so we could celebrate. Well, let's actually take a look at our cities. We can close that and come back to it. Discontent is fine here. Let's see, it's Q and E to go between cities. That's good to know. That's a hotkey that I haven't referenced yet. All right, Discontent in Roma actually is level 1 right now, so we absolutely need to reduce this. Probably need to hold a festival in Rome once we're done building. And I think we might be done building here. So it seems like that I actually... Wait a minute. Okay, so there's no discontent. I couldn't recall if I actually looked at the discontent in Antium, but I did. So, let's close this out. Honor and fidelity. Let's go ahead and just promote him. Give him the additional experience. Now, it seems as though Ostia needs... Did I not just train a worker here, or we still have a worker queued up? Is it because I have a new citizen, perhaps? Interesting. I'm going to pan away from that for the moment, because I'm not quite sure why it's... There's still something building at that city. So I need to, once I'm done focusing on what's going on over here with this city site, I want to come back to Ostia and see if I can piece out what's going on there. All right, so we have this city site here. I do kind of like being on this side of the river. On the other hand, if we're on this side of the river, that gives us potentially some additional protection from Carthage. Not really, because they could come around, but they would really have to funnel their forces this direction in order to get maximum attack power. So I know I just moved the settlers this way. They have an additional move. I can move them back and still... See, this is great. You have the ability to really approach from different directions. You know, you have the ability to play around with something that you might want to do. You also have the ability to undo, you know, like I just did. So I could undo, like so, and get the orders back, as opposed to redo and have 13 orders. So there's a couple of different ways that you can mess around in this game with different possibilities. I think you can definitely be less honest as a player with undo, but it's certainly nice to be able to just go back if you make a mistake, especially while you're still learning. So we currently have a Fabii city, we have a Julii city, and we have a Claudii city. We cannot make this, interestingly enough. What's our fourth family? There is a fourth family, but we don't have the option to give them a city. There is a fourth family, right? Now I'm losing my mind. Yeah, there was a family that was... I don't remember what their bonuses were anymore. There's a civics bonus right now, a growth bonus, and of course the military bonus. Okay, so because this is going to be a frontline city, this is going to need to be a Fabii city. We're going to give them that one. So we now have a family with 2 cities. We've completed an ambition, control 4 cities. Nice! So we can go to the ambition screen. And we've gained 10 legitimacy as a result. Now remember, with legitimacy, by the way, that was F1 that I used to pull it up. With legitimacy, we gain additional orders per turn, which is really quite nice. All right, so there's that warrior over there. It looks like Carthage has established another city in this direction. This warrior doesn't have anything more they can do right now. I also can't promote them. All right, so Beneventum is our new... Tell you what, let's go ahead and build a slinger, because we haven't trained a slinger yet. It's going to take some military training. We actually don't have much of a military, all things considered. But that's okay. All right, so now we're back over at Ostia, and we do have to see what we have going on here. We have a worker that is ready for a new order. We can build a barracks, or we can build a farm, or we can build a quarry. Let's build a farm here, because I've gone crazy with quarries over the past couple of episodes. And it looks like this worker can build a barracks here, although we already have a barracks going up in Roma, so part of me just wants to continue building farms. Let's do that in this fertile area. We have this scout that is still healing. And then Ostia, yeah, I'm not sure why Ostia was coming up on the selection queue, given that a worker was still being built here. So I'm not going to worry about it for now. Let's go ahead and end the year. All right, Carthage is taking their turn, and here comes a unit. Duke Remus is now ill. Ooh, interesting. So Duchess Lucilla Fabian, your daughter, now has a new desired ambition, enact 4 laws. Lucilla Fabian is barely able to contain her excitement. She has made several wise business investments with city merchants, and her profits far exceeded expectations. Wanting to please you, Duchess Lucilla Fabian asks how she should use this windfall. Our cities overflow with the poor and hungry. So, in other words, the wording of that is interesting because it's saying, well, our cities are overflowing with the poor and hungry, so why don't you do something to help them? Or you should keep the fruits of your own labor. So we can make her greedy, but we would get a lot more gold immediately. We could lose a little bit of gold, and she'd become gracious. So let's make her gracious. Let's make her a kind daughter. We have excellent student. Appius has excelled in his tactics training, winning numerous commendations from officers. He's clearly taken to his studies. It is time he chose a vocation. So he should focus on battlefield leadership. So 10 XP per year for idle units, plus 1 fatigue limit. So that's 1 additional move they can make per turn. And cities can hurry production with population. Ooh. You can also serve as a general or a chancellor. He should focus on unit tactics. This potentially could make him a spy master and would help us with our science. So looks like he would have additional sight range, plus 1 reveal range, no extra unit consumption costs. So I'm not quite sure how reveal range works. That's interesting. So I'm guessing... So I called it sight range, but that might not be what it is, because there's being able to see a certain number of tiles away from you, but there are other mechanics that hide units for various reasons. For instance, one thing that we've talked about in the comments section is why units may or may not be hiding in the woods. And I'm going to back out of this so that I can come back to it. But when I was... Let me find that site again. There was a Numidian cavalry spot that I was trying to find last episode and lost, and now I can't find it again. Okay, here it was. So, see, this is actually this is not a forest, this is a shrubbery. So, I'm going to restrain myself from the Monty Python references this early in the series. I want to, but I'm going to restrain myself. So, because this is a shrubbery, it doesn't actually hide units, but you can hide units in forest. So maybe even if a tile of forest was within a general sight range, if there was a hidden unit, maybe that reveal range would allow you to see units. Maybe not units hidden in forests, but whatever mechanics might be hiding units. That's different from vision range. So we'll have to see exactly how that works as we learn more. Deadly drink. Oh, that's not good. You're awakened in the middle of the night with tragic news. The body of your son... Okay. Which son? Statius, the one we forgot about. Now I feel guilty. Was found in the street. So, again, early game build, early access. This is showing a question mark for some reason, but it's they will work this stuff out with time. Was found in the street outside a popular banquet hall. The doctor believes he died from an overabundance of drink. Statius was a charming... Oh, yeah, his name is right here. Affable personality. You wish to pay him tribute. So... He would want people to be merry. So we do need to reduce discontent in Rome. So King Romulus is going to get mourning. Interesting bonuses. Look at this. So more orders, additional charisma, which gives us more civics. More civics rate. And then additional... A boost to the civics rate in Roma specifically, which is 2.7. So I like the way that the tooltip translates the percentage to a raw number there. Notice there it says plus 30% and then in parentheses 2.7. That's not 2 separate bonuses. That's just telling you what is 30% in Roma. What's that going to give me? So I don't have to do the math myself. That's quite nice. The UI of this game, as you know, I do want to see them do some stuff with the notifications that would make them stand out as much as they need to stand out without being intrusive, for sure. I think they're better than Civ 6's notifications at present, which is nice. It's not hard to be better than Civ 6's notifications. I love Civ 6, but that notification system it's so easy for stuff to just completely... I can go through an entire game of Civ 6 and not pay much attention to those notifications at all and never notice many important things happening because they just don't stand out. But the UI of this game in general is phenomenal so far for a game that just launched to early access. It's mind-blowing. So, okay, so there's a hostile settler that's been seen. And this is a Carthaginian settler, interestingly enough. So I can eliminate either of these units. Now remember, I can eliminate a unit. I can do more damage to a unit that's already been wounded. But I also need to defend my city. So let's do that first. While we're close. So I guess we'll... Yeah, here's excellent student. I was going to say, I guess we'll get that event back in a moment, and there it is. So if we choose production in Antium... Ooh, we can build chariots now. Yes, absolutely. It's going to take 8 turns, sadly. But anyway, so battlefield, leadership, or tactics. Let's go with battlefield leadership for now. I would like a good spy master candidate before long, but I also want a chancellor candidate because they can help with things in the same way. They give the government new abilities that I have yet to learn about, but I know that they do because we have our council up here. We have ambassador, chancellor, spy master. We could appoint an ambassador, by the way. That can happen. We haven't done that yet, but we could make, for instance, Ilia the Romantic. We could... Oh, we can't actually make her an ambassador anymore. Oh, did she die? When did she die? I do not remember our mother passing away. There wasn't an event for it. If you saw a notification at some point in the past episodes, feel free to let me know. It might have been this episode. I don't know. That's interesting. But yeah, in my practice game, I made Ilia an ambassador, and I'd forgotten about that. But anyway, relaxing fish. At times when ruling proves stressful... Oh yeah, the fish. You gaze at your beautiful new fish. Its movements calm you, make you hungry. Pretty. All right, it's time to choose your next ambition. Kill 5 enemy units. Produce 400 or control 6 treasuries. I mean, we're already producing a lot of food. Let's go ahead and do something that will make the Cloudy Eye a little bit happier. Okay, so we sold some orders last turn. Let's go to next unit. Can I build any wonders yet? Seems I can. I can start building the pyramids. In Rome, which is interesting. Because I have, well, no, I don't have the, yeah, I could build them here, but I still don't have the stone for them. We're getting there. We need 600 stone in order to start building them. So part of me just wants to keep building quarries. So let's do that. I'm going to build a quarry up here. So many quarries near Rome. All right, so that pasture is done. I could build a farm here. There's not there is not a recommendation on this tile, but I'm going to build a farm here anyway because it's right next to that pasture, and that pasture is going to boost the farm yield. Let's heal that scout for one more turn, and we will end the year. Ooh, look at them actually doing damage to me. That's impressive. Holy crap! Holy crap! Carthage actually just killed our unit and our general. Egypt has begun construction of the Apadana. Okay, so apparently Carthage was more equipped for war than we thought, and things just got more interesting. Egypt. Wow. I just got completely thrown off by what just happened. Egypt has begun construction of the Apadana. Lovely. All right, King Romulus is no longer mourning. Duke Remus is now severely ill. Wow. Okay. Any chance we could rush this? Okay. So there are different options for rushing production. You can use civics and create a certain amount of discontent. You could use training, but that requires a zealot. You could, if you had patrons, which I don't know what that is. Hang on. Says it's a seat. I'll have to learn more about that later because I'm not sure what that's representing. And don't worry about telling me in the comments because that's something that I'll get to eventually regardless. But, and then of course we have, you can use a citizen but requires a commander or volunteers. So obviously we can't, because this is a brand new city, we can't do much yet, but they might take Beneventum. They might take it from us. Carthage is pissed. Should have trained more military units. I'm playing on low difficulty, so I wasn't necessarily expecting them to be too aggressive. So, okay. Lessons learned. We have this fisher specialist building here. Let's go ahead and get another warrior training in Roma. Now I can move you to the front of the queue. And you'll be ready. Okay, next turn. Dark Omens, what do we have? Your newborn Duchess Clodia Fabia arrives in the dead of night during a howling rainstorm. Mystics on the court view this event as a very bad omen, and they warn us of coming turmoil. So we can sacrifice cows to our chief god, build a great ritual fire to ward off evil, or do nothing. This is mere superstition. So this would gain additional discontent in Roma, and I don't want to deal with that. So let's sacrifice cows to our chief god. We, of course, couldn't choose the second option. Marriage offer. A delegation from Babylonia arrives with a marriage proposal for Duchess Lucilla Fabia. We should consider it carefully. So it looks like Babylonia wants to... So would this mean that she leaves our nation? I don't know that I want to experiment in this. Like, we've trained her up to actually be a helpful character, so I don't know that I want to do something that would cause her no longer to be here. But if there's a future daughter, I would happily play around with the system in that case. So I'm going to say no, not this time. All right, warrior killed. Yes, I know. That was terrible. And then I misread that Egypt notification because I was so flabbergasted. So we're going to choose a new research option. Let's view the tech tree because now I need to look at what my options are in terms of just... Yeah, I feel like we need to move towards... I like the idea of having a free settler if we go with Polis. But Polis is not one of our options. Drama is. Polis is not. Labor force can help unlock navigation, though. So let's go for labor force because I would like the ability to build ships. We talked about that last episode. Man. Okay, so this is gonna be rough. We might lose Beneventum, and we're gonna have to do some additional training. This slinger is probably not going to be done in time. These units are wounded, but they have a general here and a slinger unit that appears strong enough to do some damage to me. So things just got interesting. Should I send this scout back out? I guess we could. I just need to be careful with the Numidians. So this is, again... This is an olives grove. Ah, okay. Rare resources. I'm going to move you here so I can see where the units are. Now I'm going to move you here. Just take this one step at a time. So there's some barbarians over this direction, and there is that goody hut that I didn't clear the first time, and I'm kind of tempted to go back for it. So let's go here. Oh, it looks like the barbarians might have taken it, though. Or the Babylonians. Yeah, the Babylonians now control this city, which means it's very likely they've taken that goody hut. We can probably find out if I go ahead and force move. Yeah, they've taken it. Curses. Curses. Let's force move you again. Okay, so it looks like Babylon is expanding in this direction, which means they probably took this city site as well. So I like the fact that the AI is going ahead and claiming some of these city sites, for sure. I'm a little bit on my back foot with Carthage. To be completely frank, I said this earlier, but just to be a bit more detailed about it, because of the difficulty setting that we're playing on, because Carthage had requested aid not too long ago and didn't seem to have too many cities over here, I kind of assumed they would fall pretty easily in this area. I wasn't expecting a force from Carthage to arrive this quickly, but then again, what you have to remember in Old World, and this is a great example of how this world, or how this game is different. You can get armies to a confrontation much faster in Old World than you can in Civilization because of the orders system. So you don't have to think in terms of, or it's not that you don't have to, it's that you're no longer able to think in terms of, okay, I have X number of turns until the enemies get here, so I can defend this city for a bit while these other units build up. If you're not ready to defend a city, to defend a unit, to put up a good fight, whatever units they have ready to do that can get to you in one turn, maybe two tops, because of how far the units can be moved and then force marched. So it's definitely an interesting beginning to this. And I'm kind of glad it's happening, to tell you the truth, because we are playing on lower difficulty. There's a part of me that wants us already to be playing on higher difficulty, but I want to learn the game and I want to learn the mechanics and I want to talk about how these things work without necessarily feeling like I'm dedicating a huge amount of my attention to tactical decisions and just my overall game strategy, because I'm still learning. But with that in mind, this gives me a challenge. This gives me something interesting in a series where maybe we might not have been expecting, an intense war or conflict. So that's exciting, and I look forward to seeing how it develops in the next episode. Thanks for watching this one. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.